Okay, what I'm going to try to do is show, starting with the primary numbers and the central ghost number, how to create a hyper magic ghost number cube, and then turn that hyper magic ghost number cube into a super hyper magic ghost number cube. Um, you start with the primary numbers. They can be any numbers, but I chose this, and later on you'll see that this having a 1, 1, and 3, 3, and a 2 and a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. It creates some sort of interesting patterns. But so this is an addition. These are always going to be an addition until you get the courage to do it in a multiplication form. But 1, 1, 3, 3, and 2 and 4 is the central ghost number 14. All of these blue numbers, primary numbers, added together is 14. Then you do the secondary numbers. Well, the outer primary numbers is what I mean. Or you can go ahead and fill these out inside, or you can just do the outer primary numbers. But you add the ghost number in with the commutative property in addition form of the outer primary numbers. So 14 plus 1 and 3 is 18 on both sides. Same thing like this, 18 on both sides. And 14 plus 2 and 4 is 20 on both sides. So if you didn't do this already, then you can do it now. You do the inner secondary numbers written in orange. You just add up to the corners. When I say add up, I mean add to the corners. Even if it's downward or sideways, you're still adding up to the corners, these primary numbers. Do that all for the inside cube. Then you do it for the outside cube. Or you can do it from the outside the cube first once you get the outer primary numbers established. And then you can do it from the inside. But anyway, all that is, it comes down to is that you have all the inner and outer primary numbers written. And the next thing you do is you add up the cubic numbers, the inner cubes numbers, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, and 2. That gives you a purple inner ghost number of 12. You do the same thing with this back cubic number, front left cubic number, front right cubic number, 24, 18. You just add up the cubic corner numbers, the 6 cubic corner numbers of each octant, inner layer, inner cube octant, with the primary numbers and the secondary numbers. That gives you these inner ghost numbers. For a hyper magic ghost number cube, what you do is the hyper magic ghost number cube includes the central ghost number in with the commutative property as I showed you to begin with, and it don't equal 12 and 30. For instance, on this side that would be 42. That would be right if it was just a normal ghost number cube, but since you added the central ghost number in with the commutative property, you have to do a circuitous route. You add all this whole box of inner ghost numbers, which stays the same no matter if it's a normal ghost number cube. These would appear in the normal ghost number cube, but you add them together this time, all of these 8 numbers, and that corresponds to 168 for the hyper magic ghost number, the hyper outer magic ghost number cube, magic ghost number, all around this circuitous box. And this is another check, and it's always going to be the same on any type of magic ghost number cube. You can check one of these outer cubic octants, add them up in this case, and it would give you 168, 30, 36, 38, 38, 20, 18, and 18, give you 168, and they add up individually. You don't have to go across to add them up. They add up at their own individual octants. And 14, or 14, 3/14 would have been 42 on a normal ghost number cube. But since this is a hyper ghost number cube, 4 goes into 168 42 times. So it's 3 of these raised to the 4th power. And that's what a hyper magic ghost number cube does. For a super hyper magic ghost number cube, all you do is add up all the vectors, all the numbers and the vectors of the crosswise, top to bottom x's of these parallel squares, the side to side x's of these vector numbers, parallel sides, side to side, front to back, these numbers. And then also you add in the regular numbers, what would have been 42, just by going across the diagonals like you would have done on a normal magic ghost number cube. And when you get all these numbers into place, 36 for instance, 36, and 42, I'll go over here and show you. They all equal 150 at that point, and so the same with, if you want to look back at this, you add all these numbers together at their corresponding corners, all 4 of these vector numbers, they equal the 4 up here and the 4 down here. You go across and you add them. 186, is that 86? Plus 150 is 336 on both sides. 336 on both sides. 336 on both sides. And 336 on both sides. And it looks almost like 2 wedges, these x's and also the intersection of the spatial diagonals, all these put together look like 2 sort of wedges cutting through each other, or prisms cutting through each other in a weird way. But these are just all the x's and the spatial diagonals mixed in together to create that image. And so 14, what is the central ghost number? 14 times 24 is 336. Well, 14 is 42. 8 goes into 336 42 times. So it's 3 of the normal ghost numbers, the central ghost numbers, to add to the outer ghost number, 3 to the 8th power. So that's the reason it's called a super hyper magic ghost number cube, instead of being